century of a century, speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
Hello and welcome back. Now, one of my favorite segments on Wake Up Nigeria is the fashion segment. And today, we have a world where we have to sort of present ourselves to the world in a certain light, especially when it comes to fashion. Joseph Ejiro is with us today, a sustainable luxury women's wear and menswear fashion house CEO. And he has some of his designs to show us. In 2009, Ejiro presented his first ever collection of 10 pieces at the Plato Fashion Week, and since then has jumped forward in leaps and bounds. It's great to have you here.
Same here.
All right, so Joseph, I'm going to talk a little bit about your women's wear first.
Okay.
A lot of amazing flowing fabrics, distinct colors, not too many patterns.
Okay.
Where do you get your major inspiration from?
Basically, I get my major, especially from my women's wear line, I get my major inspiration from women. The fluidity of women really inspires me a lot, and I love that about women.
Okay.
I'm more particular about women's wear a lot because when it comes to Nigeria, women are less conservative when it comes to fashion than men. So I'm very artistic person, and the woman's body is like a canvas for me to just do whatever I want to do and still make it wearable as fashion.
I was going to touch on that because there's a lot of couture out there right now that a lot of people don't really consider wearable. They consider costume-like.
Yes.
But you've found a fine line between the two.
Yes, that's basically what I do. That's my niche. But basically, I find a way to translate art into wearable fashion. I find a way to make sure that, okay, you can look at a piece, a Joseph Ejiro piece, and say, oh, this is very avant-garde. And then take a second look and say, okay, this is something I can actually wear to an event. You can actually pick a particular occasion, you can wear any of my pieces too.
Okay, so you know, if different fashion designers take different angles with regards African fashion.
Yes.
I have seen some little notes of Africa in your pieces, especially with the types of models you use.
Yes.
But have you ever been tempted to go maybe international or just stick to African fabrics?
I always find a way to have a mix of both.
Okay.
To be able to use African inspiration and interpret it in such a way that it is consumable internationally, globally. So that's basically what I try to do.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Fabulous. I'm wondering how it all started. I mentioned 2009 was your first fashion show, but it must have been quite a journey before then. Right?
Yeah, right from when I was a child, I used to play with dolls and hand-stitch dresses on them.
Wow.
And I used to sketch.
Interesting.
I do sketch. I would sketch dresses. Then my first year in university, I graduated from University of Jos. My first year in university, there was this classmate of mine that was going through my notebook, and she saw some sketches, and she was like, "Hey, Ejiro, you can actually pursue this.
Wow.
You can actually do something with this." And it was just a hobby for me.
Wow.
So this is something that I thought I would do in the future. So she was like, and I was like, okay, maybe. And then she told me, oh, we are planning, I and my fiancé, we are planning to organize a fashion show very soon in Jos, and would you like to be involved? I was like, yeah. That was when I was able to put together my first collection for the fashion show.
Amazing. And part of the collection for this year, the name of the collection for this year is?
Manus S. Machina.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm going to ask you about that, but I want us to see part of it. We have some models here with us. Can we have model number 1, please? All right. So this is a really bold yellow.
Yes.
This lace, talk to us about this piece.
Okay. This was, actually, I made this dress in like 2 days.
Wow, really?
It was a last-minute decision when I was trying to put together a collection for a show that I was doing. Okay. So it was basically inspired by the woman's body. I was trying to find a way to walk around the curves of the body and then have it flowy down. So you have a sweetheart neckline, you have a corset in there, and then you have some kind of A-line. Yes, A-line. And then I hand embellish crystals on them too.
Okay, so what is the hardest part of putting together a piece like this?
Oh, the hand embellishments.
Okay.
Yes, that's the hardest part. We had sleepless nights working on it at the studio and embellishing it and all that. So that's usually the hardest part.
So usually when you use a fabric like this, you have a certain person in mind, or you're thinking of a certain type of figure in mind.
There are several women that inspire me a lot, but number one is Beyonce. So she's my major inspiration when it comes to a woman. I've always admired her since she was in Destiny's Child and all that. So whenever I'm dressing, I'm making a dress, I'm thinking, okay, how would Beyonce, how would this look on Beyonce? So like there's Rihanna, there are other women that I find very inspiring.
All right. Well, you mentioned embellishments, right? Is that like a signature for you? Must you embellish to make something stand out?
Not really. I don't feel like as a creative director, as an artistic person, I don't feel like there's anything that's particular that I have to do to stand out. I feel like there are a lot of things I can actually do. So it depends on what I'm making. I can decide I want to go with embellishment. I can decide I want to go with embroidering. I can decide I want to go with details, bold details and all that with the same fabric without having to embellish or embroider anything.
I'm learning a lot from you here. Now let's see model number 2 and what she has on. All right, so this has an interesting flow.
Yes.
What is this fabric in front called? The pink?
It's called accordion.
Accordion?
Yes.
It has like a bouncy flow to it.
Yes, that's a bouncy flow. But the bouncy flow was actually, it's not really bouncy. I had to mix it with a particular chemical.
Oh.
Yes, that gives it the stiffness. So because the fabric is actually pleated.
Yeah.
So it's, as far as it's stiff, it's going to be bouncy because it's pleated.
I love the sleeve. What fabric do you use on the sleeve?
That's organza.
Organza.
Yes.
Organza. So the fabric in front reminds me of crepe.
Yes.
Crepe paper.
Yes.
It has like a paper-like feel.
Yes, it has a paper-like feel. It's actually a normal, regular taffeta fabric, taffeta accordion fabric.
Okay.
But because of the chemicals I used to mix it, it has that feel of that paper feel, as if it's a paper.
I've seen quite a few pictures of your work. It feels like a signature. This accordion fabric.
Yes. For this collection, it was a signature for the collection, for this collection in particular.
So I'm loving the way it moves. I'm loving the way it looks very comfortable.
Yes, it is.
And it feels like she can just move so easily with it.
Yes, she can actually.
And then I can see it makes it look like a flower, like a walking flower.
Yes.
But I wouldn't have put stripes on the sleeve though. I'm thinking about those stripes. I'm not sure. I'm not a big fan of stripes.
There's something about stripes though.
Okay.
Especially when they're horizontal, they have a way of slimming the figure.
Oh,
yes.
Okay, so that's a reason to do stripes.
Yes.
You've given me a very good reason to do stripes. I'm loving the way it looks. And there's something about flowers that makes you feel like being fruitful.
Yes.
You know, and having a positive energy, growth.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for coming to show us pieces of your collection.
Thank you.
Joseph Ejiro is amazing. You know, from 2009 till now, it feels like a lot has happened.
Yes.
Do you have any message for any young designer out there who's probably struggling right now?
Keep trying. Keep trying. Don't give up. That's basically the message. Keep trying. The industry is a very, very competitive industry. It's very few designers actually make it to the top, but you just have to keep pushing. And please, one of the things I do not joke with is never lose your art. You never lose your art for commercial success. Find a way to be able to balance the artistic aspect of your creativity with commercial success. You can be able to sell art and still make a lot of money.
Amen to that. Thank you so much, Joseph Ejiro there. Honestly, that was a fun fashion segment. And I'm going to, that stripe message there. I'm going to take heed of that.
You should.
I will.
You should.
I will. All right, then. So we are still moving on with the show. And we have Winnie in the kitchen with Chef C.
Yes, of course. We're still here with Chef C making our afang soup. So you forgive me and that preamble to the name.